Welcome to YellBro. I am Jordan, and today, Thomas Massie, Rokana, AOC. What's going on here? Working together? This is kind of an old story, but I'm doing it anyways. And something special for the end of the video. But first, don't forget to share support. Hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Alright, so this whole thing with Iran, right? The conflict of it, uh, the obvious fuckery that, our State Department, our presidential administration, the Pentagon, whoever, Israel, other people, some of the talking heads on social media and on TV, mainstream networks and shit like that. There's a lot of fuckery happening, right? But it's clear as day. I think it's pretty obvious that when it comes to, the American citizens, they're like, fuck this shit. We want nothing to do with a war in Iran. Like, they're, begging and pleading to the president, like, don't do it, Trump. Stay out of this mess. Like, we remember Iraq. At least, we remember it strong enough to realize this is not a good idea. And then, obviously, with the whole genocide, Holocaust thing happening in Gaza, that more and more people have found out about, to where Israel's popularity has significantly dropped. Significantly. And if they're the ones that shot first at Iran, and they're just like, come on, Netanyahu goes on all these networks to beg Trump to join the war with him. Like, come on, Trump, please, you're my daddy, please. I think it just pisses people off just a little bit more. Just a little bit more when they see those things. Like, oh, you're obviously fucking with us. Got it. So, for people that are a little bit more inside baseball in regards to, politicians and House representatives and Senate people and, foreign policy, all that stuff, this is a weird sight to see right here. I know it's mainly Massie and Rokana, but the AOC part, I think, would be like, oh man, I think their eyebrows would actually raise. Now, me personally, be like, yo, where the fuck this been at? Granted, it's an easy topic to be on the right side of history with. It's pretty easy to figure out what the American people want. The most of American people, maybe not the boomers that are like, yeah, let's go to war, or the Bible thumpers, like the heavy Bible thumpers, like evangelical style shit. Pretty sure, I guess Catholics are like, fuck this shit, fuck this war. But the Mike Huckabees of the world are like, let's do it, let's jump in there for our best friend Israel. So this is extremely interesting. Actually, you can see the names listed here by the guy who tweeted this out. Granted, once again, this is a screenshot of something that's old. I saw it already. I was going to do a video on it, but, my mind got captured by too many other things. But, look at the names here. AOC, Dave Smith, Cenk Uygur, Rand Paul, Bernie Sanders, Rokana, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, Glenn Greenwald, Ron Paul, Dennis Kucinich, and once again, I'm going with on the surface, right? I have a deeper assessment that I'll be saying after all this, but on the surface, it's like, oh, it's like what people would call a populist thing, right? This is the real populist movement, not the orange penguin that adopted all the phrasing of a populist movement. Tricked all the voters and all those populist style voters to supporting him, and then filling his cabinet with a bunch of neocons and warmongers. It's like, wait a minute, you're supposed to fill your cabinet with guys like Massie or Rand Paul, right-leaning people. You want a bunch of Ron Pauls around you, right? Essentially, that's what people thought they were getting, but I mean, I saw through that, but maybe that's what people thought they were getting, right? But nah, instead, the Orange Penguin wants to fucking primary Thomas Massie for not just turning his brain off and just supporting whatever fucking bill that Trump puts out there. So it's like clear as day now. I would hope people would realize, like, okay, yeah, this guy's not, he's not the real deal, hopefully. And I made a video in regards to Iran. Like, hopefully people don't get stuck on that. Like, oh my God, if Trump, doesn't go to war with Iran, all of a sudden he's some sort of great president, some sort of peacemaking president. Like, no, he's fucking not. And to be honest with you, Massie should have been calling him out. All right, we're going closer to my actual assessment. Massie should have been calling the fool out for all the warmongering and all that shit that he's been doing. Rand Paul should have been calling him out instead of adding pleasantries at the end of every fucking sentence, right? In one side of his face, Rand Paul would be like, oh, well, I don't know why we're spending money here in Syria, giving money to these quote-unquote moderate rebels. What's up with that? But don't worry, the president's a good guy. It's like, dude, what the fuck are we doing? Isn't that only something like children need? These little compliments like that? Like, you help, in a way, create the monster. Not saying Trump's like the only monster. I'm saying, like, the phenomenon of it, to where this guy used your legitimacy, or your at least perceived legitimacy, Rand Paul. He used that to garner a base. And now we're here. Look where we're at now. And I mean in, like, breakneck speed. This fool got 3.5 years left in his fucking presidency, dude. We are at the very beginning. And I mean, this dude has done some of the most fucked up shit. Like, on the surface, fucked up shit that we've seen for a while. I mean, I'm just saying. But anyways, all right. Once again, AOC, you could have been on this fool in regards to foreign policy. You could have, like, really, like, made arguments, made cases, use your platform to really showcase, like, yo, this is what's happening in Gaza, and guess what? Your president is paying for it. He's arming it, and he's paying for it. What do you guys think? You could do that. That's right, AOC. Get yourself kicked off of Twitter for showing graphic footage of what's actually happening over there. Get yourself kicked off of YouTube or TikTok. Have them drag you out of the fucking Capitol because you're showing pictures and videos of the actual atrocities without blurring it out. Like, yo, is this what you guys want? Yo, Americans, you guys want this? Could have been done that. But, that's why for me, like, I can't put my trust in any of these guys. That's where I'm at. Now, at the same time, I don't blame anyone if they see this and they see, oh my God, this is the dream team. This is the real thing we were looking for. This is the real populace. I'm not going to blame people for going there, as like a, just don't turn your brains off while you're hoping for this thing. Because hope is fine that these are all well-meaning people and they end up working together and try to make the world a better place, right? Hope is fine. Hopium is not. Hopium is where you turn your brain off and you drink the fucking Kool-Aid. That's what happened with Trump. People actually thought this guy was, quote-unquote, less pro-war than other presidents. I'm like, this motherfucker's the same shit as them. He's more bombastic about it. He's more, in your face about it. But this guy's been a warmonger his entire presidential career. Straight up. Blatantly. Where this motherfucker's hitting, like, inside topics that motherfuckers forgot about. Like Julian Assange and shit like that. Like, he's hitting, like, all these little topics that are supposed to be, like, kind of, like, in the purview of the president, officially. Like, the president's supposed to focus more on, the economy and, foreign policy, right? But even little things like, they're not little, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like in the more peripheral topics, like Assange or Epstein or any of these things, he sucks there too. He's like horrible there too, just like the other guys were. Right? They're also horrible. But yeah, once again, I don't blame you. If you saw this and you're like, oh shit, a ray of fucking sunshine. If these guys who are supposed to be on different sides of the spectrum, but the main point is what Jordan's been asking for years is that it's about character. Like, oh, these are the good guys. And it's always good when the good guys work together. I don't blame anyone for that, having that hope. I mean, do I have that? uh, I look at these guys and I say not good enough, but that's just me. But okay, moving on. Uh, let's also talk about some. Let's talk a little bit about the hopium stuff because there's a guy out there who, I guess maybe in his mind, made a bold move by like, yo, it's about the populace. It's not about left and right. I'm like, okay, I can see that. Okay, what else you got? Uh, we should be working with MAGA. Um. Uh. Um. And part of that was, let's be honest, we're talking about Jimmy Dore here. Uh, Jimmy, it it seemed like a turn your brain off thing he was doing, seemingly. I mean, even after Trump took office, did all these foreign policy things. Jimmy Dore still was tweeting out things like, "Oh, look at Obama!" Like he had like a video of Obama, right? And he's like, "No one's been a bigger warmonger than fucking Barack Obama." Donald Trump looks like a peace candidate in comparison. I'm like, are you outside of your fucking mind? If it was reversed, and he was talking about how Obama is lesser of warmongers, I'd also say, are you outside of your fucking mind? Are you not paying attention to anything? Isn't this your fucking job, dude? And I'm sure he ignored plenty of fucking pushback. And maybe, probably ignored like legitimate pushback, but accepted like, would actually pay attention to some of the dumb, like, what do you say, Trump derangement syndrome people, right? Like, Trump's a fascist. He's a Nazi. Which some people, you can actually make a case for that somewhat, just to be honest. But, you know, people that just scream that and they don't have any arguments to back it up, those are the people Jimmy focused on as being the counter to Donald Trump. When in reality, it was clear as fucking day if you're paying attention and you're not infected with hopium. Or if you're trying to boost your career a little bit further and get somebody to hop on the Trump wave and bring in views and followers and money. Maybe that could be the reason too. I'm just throwing it out there. The point is, this, on paper, what Jimmy Dore was screaming for, this on paper, not for me. I'm saying the way it looks optically for people, if I had to guess, looks like the actual thing of sides working together. Where it's like, oh, these are good guys that are trying to do the right thing. They need to be working, like, oh, these guys working together is like the dream. But instead, Jimmy fell for, let's not shit on Trump, or let's give some, like, verbal favoritism towards Trump so that maybe he'll listen to us and change some policies for us. He may follow what we want. You want to know why? Because he's a narcissist. And if you can appeal to him through his own vanity, you can get him to stop doing that war or stop doing that war. And it's like, that sounds absolutely fucking stupid. And as of right now, it is proven to be stupid. It is proven to be stupid at this point. I mean, Jimmy got to levels to where even he said, yo, Tulsi Gabbard. It's okay you lie during your what's it called? The congressional hearing or whatever the fuck it is. What's it called? The confirmation hearing, right? For DNI, Director of National Intelligence, right? It's okay to lie to get you into office so that you can be one of the good guys working within the Trump administration. Huh. Well, apparently she lied again, Jimmy. But this lie, you would you would say this initial thing wasn't a lie, Jimmy Dore, or anyone thinking like that. Sorry to focus on Jimmy Dore so much. It's more about the hopium motherfuckers and the grifters too, because the IQ test is now here. It was already there for me when this person, when she dropped out of the race and endorsed Joe Biden. Now, I understand people were like, oh, she's contractually obligated to endorse him. Like, did she need to make a glowing video like that for that blatant war criminal? That was it for me. That was my IQ test for this lady. I mean, I could still throw at that time. I could still throw out the idea. Maybe she means well, but fuck, is she stupid? She's dumb as rocks. But now something has changed again. I mean, we already seen her fucking up, right? You should have known when they first got in office, and she's fucking going to the southern border saying China or Iran might enter through here. They're like, oh, you're selling the narrative, aren't you? And now, some testimony that Jimmy would have said, look what Tulsi's doing, yeah, is now being walked back. Once again, to sell the war. And that's why I go apeshit about, once again, I would understand if people are like, this is the dream team, the super team, right? Massie and AOC working together. Can you imagine? Wow. To stop wars. I understand that. But someone else was also screaming about war while they were in Congress. And that's this lady. And now, where are we at now? Let's read. The dishonest media is intentionally taking my testimony out of context and spreading fake news. They're spreading fake news as a way to manufacture division. Between who? Are you saying you and Trump? You were supposed to create that division. Why are you letting the media beat you there? You should have already been creating that division and be like, yo, I'm out of here. And she was in the news recently before because of Trump dismissing this testimony here. And then people are like, damn, she's gonna quit. Or she should quit, or whatever the fuck, right? There's even, what was it? What was I watching? Let me see. Because I saw a random Jamal video, right? I'm like, alright, well, let me do some research first. And I just type in Tulsi, like, oh, she's trending. What for? Well, she's trending for this. And when you see this, see, Trump continues attacks on Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi sideline expected to quit administration. That is from an hour ago. Now, I didn't watch the video, so maybe it's in jest, or he's being facetious, or he's fucking around, or whatever. But this is the actual big news about Tulsi Gabbard. But okay, I'll keep reading. Once again, she's the one who should have created division, saying, I'm not corrupt, I'm separate from this guy, and either I quit or I'm using my platform to work against him while I'm here until he fires me. One or the other, something like that. But instead, she wants unity. Love and unity with the orange penguin. Anyways, America has intelligence that Iran is at the point that it can produce a nuclear weapon within weeks. Weeks to months. Like, Jesus Christ, that is a turnaround from March. Those guys they got the fucking Keebler elves in there working their asses off all day and night. They got Santa's elves and the Keebler elves working double time under a mountain somewhere making nukes, apparently. Yeah, within weeks to months, if they decide to finalize the assembly. President Trump has been clear that can't happen, and I agree. And then her full testimony of like a minute something is here, but we've all seen that, right? This is the affirmation hearing, right, for her to be director of national intelligence, and it's, I mean, once again, the Joe Biden thing had my head spinning. Like, well, I mean, she was once again. I made videos where I'm like, this is the reasons why I'm not voting for Tulsi Gabbard. But I was like, oh, I can leave her that she means well, right? What'd she do? She called out uh, the U.S. funding Al Qaeda in Syria to overthrow the country. I mean, that alone, right? Her saying that back in the day, and then Trump shaking the hand of the Al Qaeda guy becoming president of Syria, and then Trump lifting sanctions off of Syria because the Al Qaeda guy's in office now. If that, like, you should have went, like, yo, where the fuck is Tulsi at? Yo, Tulsi. A lot of people found out about that shit through her, by the way, about what the U.S., intelligence agencies and weird military shit where they're funding Al Qaeda in Syria and in other places. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people found out about that through her. So when Trump's on the stage shaking hands with this dude, and she says nothing, that should have already been. That should have been already a head spinning moment. Straight up. Well, if you, you know, if you're like Netanyahu and you just get fooled that Iran has nukes for 30 straight fucking years, this one's got to work, right? You can't be Netanyahu dumb. Like, this one has to be the one where you're like, all right, she's not on our team. She's not a good guy. I don't know what the fuck she is at this point. Maybe scared for her life. Maybe paid. Maybe brainwashed. Maybe was secretly a neocon the whole time. But, whatever it is, I assume that most people would be like, yo, Tulsi, you're done. Like, if you don't quit, like, today. I mean, I don't even think that would work. Not for me, at least, but there'd be a whole lot of other things that gotta happen. But this is the final straw, I would have to assume, for a lot of people. Where like, all right, she's full. It's over. It's over for this lady. Maybe it was Trump's. Oh, what'd she say? Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what she said. I'm deciding if they have nukes or not. I will decide that. I'm deciding what reality is, not you. I decide what America First means. I decide what MAGA means. I decide what reality is. Don't you know? Meanwhile, he's been a fucking loser his whole life, too. At the same time. Like, here's the thing. I don't call these people evil. I'm like, yo, guys, just quit. And then we can start the redemption process. Where you got to go back to kindergarten of morality and learn basic ethics. And we can go from there. But these motherfuckers are nowhere near it. They're still in their fucking diapers at this point. Don't let the fucking suits fool you. These are babies and dummies and losers. Not as a whole person, just in these aspects. I don't know their personal lives. I'm sure it's a little weird over there in their personal lives too, but you know, with this stuff here on the surface, like you guys are full blown fuck boys and fuck girls. I'm wrecked, dude. But yeah, there's your wake up call for Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, it's like I mean, there once again, these things, this moment here, where we're at here, I would say was predictable. I think it was predictable because if you found her during like the campaigning, right, and was it 2019, 2020 time period? Like, oh, who's this Tulsi Gabbard person? You start following them, right? You start looking into information about them, and you see like, okay, look at her past. She has some shady fucking military shit in her past. Not her as a medic, as far as I understand, but her as like, counsel in foreign relations. Wanting to partition Iraq into fucking pieces. But then they did this video where she actually went to Syria and talked with people there, and then I think before that she dropped out of the Democratic National Party lead or whatever the fuck she was because they were screwing Bernie Sanders over, so she quit that position at least. And then she went over to Syria, and she comes back. She's like, "Yo, we're funding Al Qaeda there on the ground, bro. It's fucking that country up. That's not good." Amongst other foreign policy things, but that was like her biggest one. And then it was the Joe Biden thing for me, but there's been plenty of shit that was foreseeable. 100%, bro. When I saw her, here's something that caught my eye back in the day. When she was on the Joe Rogan podcast, not by herself, there's a guy named Jocko Willink there. And he's saying all these blatant pro-war shit. Now, maybe she's thinking Jocko Willink's an idiot. He's just like a dumb meathead who's like, I want some action, or whatever the fuck his point was. Like, at the very least, if you recognize, like, damn, these people lie us into wars, shouldn't you make that a point while he's spewing all this shit? About honor, duty, accomplishing the mission, all that stuff. Like, what if you're there for, faulty reasons? It'd be cool if there was someone in the room that could point that out. Everyone starts staring at Tulsi Gabbard like, isn't this your platform? Isn't this what you ran for president on? This is your platform. And this guy's walking on top of it. And you say nothing. Like, what the fuck? So it's like, oh, so you can be pushed around, can't you? That's how I kind of took it. Like, oh, you can be pushed around. And then fast forward with all this other bullshit in the middle of this, her certain operational things she's done in Africa and shit like that. Look it up. Like, oh, this is kind of foreseeable. Not in the way that TYT was doing. Like, they were doing it to save Bernie. Protect Bernie, right? Because she's a threat in regards to voters. Right? I read that as phony critiques. It was the only reason of saying it was to protect and help Bernie Sanders. That was it. That wasn't for, in my opinion, trying to like, hey, we've got to point out, any of their flaws so that we can, have honest discussions of who's really the best candidate. Like, nah. Those were blatant hit pieces. Blatant. It didn't. I don't think it came from an honest place, in my humble opinion. But whatever. Regardless, the things that were this thing right here, the fucking death nail. Yeah, foreseeable. But then again, sometimes you gotta hopium and trust the plan. Inject the hopium,
Then trust the plan, you fucking idiots. I can kill a man on Fifth Avenue, and I won't even get in trouble. They love me that much.
I mean, Trump's a more blatant example of that. Like, oh, clear as day, this guy's not trustworthy. Clear as day. I wouldn't trust that fool with like children, bro. I'm not even saying some sexual way. I'm saying like he might end up killing the kid by accident or something. Like, I don't trust this little child with any type of power over other people at all. Do not trust him. Oh man, I mean, it is really. I'm just rambling at this point, but it is frustrating. It is frustrating because there's people that were on the topic. Not even saying me. Other people were on this shit. And a lot of people turned their fucking ears off when they were talking about it. They, oh, Tulsi ain't right. Here's this example. Here's this example. Here's this story. Here's a story about her service. X, Y, and Z. Here's all that shit. And people turn their fucking ears off for it. Well, when you want to be a dupe, this can happen to you. Anyways, there's your video. Once again, take this as a lesson, in my opinion, for these guys. Like, just in case, right? You can't risk it. It's too big of a risk. Like, people die over all this shit. From soldiers to babies, people die in regards to all this shit. And you should be, like, looking for any infractions. And also, be looking for them to point out their own infractions. Like, damn, I got this topic wrong. I fucked up. When AOC signs the Iron Dome bill thing, and then you find out what Israel's using it for, she should be like, oh, damn, I fucked up there. When Thomas was giving pleasantries to Donald Trump and Rand Paul, when they were saying things like that, maybe because they got duped themselves, like, yeah, you should be calling yourself out on those things. Be like, all right, I fucked up. That's important, dude. It can't just be like, all right, well, now I'm saying this. Like, I'll just forget I said that over there. I'm just going to say something new that, like, people are like, yeah, I like what he just said right there. I'm like, well, what about the shadows? Aren't those important too? The little dark hiding things, like the closets that need to be cleaned out. Where's that at? And that's what I would beg of voters, supporters, political people. But then again, the way people seem to trend around, even though they, I think deep down, psychologically, they kind of think from a moral landscape, but someone needs to, like, have the courage to just be conscious about it. Like, this is, I am directly doing this because of my morals. And then once you put your morals on the line, now you find out it is important to find out about who the fuck any of these fucking people are and make sure they don't fucking roll us. But as of now, we've been getting rolled. It is what it is. All right, there's your video. Please subscribe if you like. Comment. Agree, disagree. Is someone still on the Tulsi train? I love to hear that in the comment section. I love to hear you make an argument for that. You're still on the Tulsi train, because you have to think about it. Where she started at was or not started, but where she grew her fame at and became, for a lot of people, a viable candidate. Like, oh, this is a good person. Where that started at, it was her spouting like quasi anti-war stuff. And then fast forward all the way to now, and she's justifying an attack on Iran. We need no more regime change wars. Iran is a couple seconds away from a nuke. We need to bomb them. Like, once again, that should break someone's neck from the whiplash of that shit. Relatively speaking, that is a short time period for someone to flip that fast. But then again, maybe she never flipped. Maybe she was already on this side the whole time. I'm just saying. But yeah, make your arguments, statements about anything. AOC, Thomas Massie, any of that, the list of names I read, Tulsi Gabbard, let it all be known in the comment section. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. Thank you. I see Kamani, whatever his fucking name is. Kamani fucking trending. That looks scary. Maybe he made a statement, or maybe it happened. The thing happened. Or they assassinate that fool, and then all hell breaks loose. But I don't know yet, because I didn't click on it. Anyways, thank you for watching. And with all that said, all that rambling said, give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in, and then you wanna get out. When you get the money to buy yourself a car.